Hi, my name is Frank Stirk, speaking to you from North Vancouver. I've been involved in the Baptist Horizon since it started back in the fall of 1987. In fact, I had the first article on page 1 of the first issue of the Horizon back then, and I've had the privilege of writing for the Horizon, just one article or so, every issue since then. Having written so many articles over so many years for the Horizon, it's hard for me to pinpoint specific examples of articles or interviews that stick out for me. But there are some things that I do recall and did certainly make an impression on me. One was the hard work and sacrifice that it took to reach, and is still ongoing, to reach Northern Ontario. I'm thinking of that vast area where we had no churches from Winnipeg to Ottawa. And I've done several stories on that, and every time I've been impressed by the hard work and the dedication and just the desire to see people in that part of Canada, which is not the most populated, come to Christ. I think especially of the Missouri Baptist people who have come up year after year to reach people for Christ there. Another one that really impressed me, and I really can't explain it, but I interviewed Moses Seo. He's a Korean church planter on Vancouver Island, and he was explaining to me, or trying to explain to me, how Koreans seem to be able to connect with Canadian Aboriginals. And maybe there was some, back in the mists of time, maybe that's where our Canadian First Nations people came from, that part of Asia. I don't know, but it's fascinating how Koreans are able to connect with our Aboriginal population. And another example I'll share is the most recent one, and that was when I was able to speak with John Martins, pastor of the Connection in Maple Ridge. And he shared with me the trials that he and his family and his church have gone through over the past few years, just incredible satanic attacks. And yet, because of his obedience and faithfulness to God, step by step, gradually, he and his church and his family have overcome them. That really impressed me, how, I don't think we say enough about the kind of challenges and sacrifices that people have to make in order to win Canada for Christ. I'll share one special blessing, but it's actually a two-parter. Working for the Baptist Horizon has given me kind of a front row center seat on what's been happening within the convention and across the convention, especially as it has grown from coast to coast to coast. It's been fascinating to see how in so many different ways God has been at work in so many places across Canada. And the second part of this blessing is just having the privilege as a reporter, as a journalist, of being able to bring these stories to the membership of our churches across Canada. That's been fantastic. Just to be that, the medium is the message, I suppose. Just being able to communicate these stories that I've heard about to other people across the convention. What changes have I seen through the years? I think there are three that I could share. One is an increased energy and determination among Canadian Southern Baptists, Canadian National Baptists, to reach Canada for Christ. Secondly is a clearer focus on what needs to be done to reach that goal and how to do it. I think we've become, on the whole, more goals-oriented. And thirdly, I see people and churches taking greater ownership of their own
Go.
And let me reiterate, one of the real changes I've seen over the years has been that people and churches are taking greater ownership and responsibility for reaching Canada for Christ and turning to others for help. One article that I'm just actually working on right now for the Horizon are that a number of missions and church plants out in BC are actually going on mission, are actually planting churches themselves. And that's fantastic to see, that this desire that no matter how small or how weak or how new they may think they may be, they still have this desire and this passion to reach Canada for Christ. As the convention grows and matures across Canada, I think it's very important for us as a community of churches to have ways that keep us informed. There is so much going on that it's just simply impossible just by word of mouth or any other sort of low communication tool to make that happen. And so we need something like the Baptist Horizon. We need the CNBC website to communicate those stories to people across the country, because that's how you build unity and that's how you build common purpose among our churches and the people in those churches. And so I think we need to give even greater emphasis to communication within the Canadian National Baptist Convention.